my third grade class. So we're going to be starting our nutrition unit. I know we just finished going over very briefly, answering some questions you guys had about the upcoming unit, but we're going to dive into a lot more today. So start off with, what are the 5 food groups? Can you name any of the 5 food groups?
Fruit.
Fruit is one. Vegetables is another. Can you name another one?
Dairy.
So we got fruits, vegetables, dairy. 2 more. Can you name one more? Grains and proteins. So there are 5 essential food groups: fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. These are what make up our essential to our diet. Some foods that are in them, so like grains, what they consist of could be like wheat, rice. Fruits are grapes, apples. Examples of vegetables would be like corn, carrots. Protein would be salmon or chicken, and then dairy would be yogurt or milk. And these are just a few examples. We will get in the upcoming lessons, we're going to get into a lot more of it. So now kind of discuss a little bit of the 5 food groups. One thing that's important about knowing these groups is that combining all of them makes a balanced meal, and which is what we want to do in our diet, is incorporate a balanced meal. And one thing that really helps with a tool that can help with us is MyPlate. Have you ever heard of MyPlate? No. So MyPlate is actually a tool that anybody could get on the internet, print off, or you can even fill it out online. And what it is a kind of way to make a meal, and it's a circle. So it's just a plate, and then it's divided up into 4 areas. 2 are, I'd say, take up about 30% each, and then the other ones are about 20%. And what it is, and then there's a small circle on the side, which would be dairy. Then there's veggies, grains, fruits, and proteins. So this is a very useful tool because you could go on, it shows you how much, gives you information about each one, about how much you should have, what foods are in it, but this is all stuff that we'll be going over.
So which ones are about 30% each?
So if you notice, they're not equally divided. So the ones that they recommend that we get more of in our diet would be grains and vegetables, and then we'll want a little bit less of, still want to include in our diet, but a little bit less. But fruits, proteins, we don't require as much, and then dairy. But again, all these are essential to our diet. And I keep using the word essential. Do you know what essential means?
No.
So essential is kind of in it, but so it's something that's absolutely necessary or like extremely important. And so I say essential because we need these foods in our diet. These are extremely important, and they actually contain, which again we'll get a little more into, dive into each food group, break it down, but there are 6 nutrients that are essential to our diet, which are water, fats, vitamins, minerals, proteins, and carbs, or carbohydrates, but carbs is for short. Water, I'm assuming most people know what water is. Fats, and do you know what fats are?
Yeah, I have an idea.
I know a lot of people, we have fat on our body, but so fat is used as a fuel source. It's just like a different way to our bodies store energy, and then to keep burn it off when we're exercising. And then water I mentioned, but yeah, so that's contains an essential nutrients in our body that we need water. We could actually only go 3 days without water, so that's very important. And then actually a little fun fact, our bodies are made up of 60% water, so definitely need more in our diet. And then vitamins. So vitamins are substances that our bodies need to develop and function normally. There's quite a few vitamins. I know a lot of people, their parents make them take multivitamins, and this is good because if we don't get enough vitamins in our diet, that's a good way to kind of balance it out. But just some vitamins are vitamins A, C, D, E, K. There's B vitamins. All these do different things in our bodies, and all these foods and food groups contain different vitamins, different amounts, which again we'll get more into. Minerals are similar to vitamins. They're just different substances that our bodies need to function properly. Proteins. I know I said so. One of the food groups is protein, but so protein is one of 3 nutrients that our body uses energy sources, which are, I already talked about, fats. Protein is another one. And then the last one would be carbohydrates or carbs. So these are the 3 that kind of sources of energy. And again, they're all essential to our diet and for our bodies to function. So in the next class, we'll actually be going over, we'll dive a little bit more into veggies, grains, and then a lot more foods in those categories. We'll talk about the benefits of them, different colored fruits and veggies, and then go a little more depth, break them down. But what I want you to do right now is kind of like an exit slip. You don't have to name the 6 nutrients like what they are. Let me rephrase that. You don't have to describe the 6 nutrients, but to the best of your knowledge, if you could write down, just from memory, the 6 nutrients and label each food group. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then just go ahead and write your names. Do your best with spelling. And actually at the end of this unit, we'll be creating our own meals using the MyPlate, and we'll make sure that we incorporate foods from each food group, and then we'll have you guys explain benefits to each food. So you got 5 food groups: grains, proteins, dairy, fruits, veggies. Good job.
I forgot what the 6 nutrients are.
So can you think of any of them? What is something that we drink? Water was one.
Minerals.
There we go. And I said one of them was actually a food group. It's not
protein.
There we go. Protein. And what are something that they could be A, C, D, E, K. These are different. Starts with a V. Vitamins. And then the last 2 would be, so it's not muscle on our body. It could be not muscle or bone. It would be fat. It's a good energy. And then the 3rd, which would be the last energy source that our body uses, it's not fat, it's not protein. It would be carbohydrates. There we go. So yeah, just to go over again, the 6 nutrients: water, minerals, proteins, fats, vitamins, and carbohydrates. So all these are essential, which is again important and absolutely necessary in our diet. So And these are all actually, again, the 5 food groups contain some of these nutrients in different amounts, but we will be getting more into that. And